Who wants to learn how to be more confident?
No?
Very confident,
Okay.
yes. I'm assuming that's why you're here tonight. There's a lot of people who aren't members who are here.
Sort of timidly want to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think I want to be more confident. It's quite interesting. So, our speaker, as I've mentioned, is co-founder of Speaker Express, and he's Anik's work husband. They've known each other for a very, very long time. And what I love about Elliot, he has actually had a lot of speaking experience, 6,000 hours of being on a stage. And, you know, he's experimented with different businesses, and where he's at right now is what he loves the speaking. He's kind of leaving Anik to focus more on that. And what he loves doing is actually helping you go from hobby or a small startup to giving you the strategies and implementation techniques so that you can actually grow your business, whether it's taking it from the £1,000 a month to the 6 figures. So that's where Elliot's at the moment. And he's really, really, really helped me with being a speaker and kind of talking. He's a good sounding board for everything, but it's really that business acumen and the strategies to help you grow as a speaker and get on more stages. So the thing is about running a business, it's 80% running a business, whether it's coaching or speaking or knitting or whatever the hell it is. So Elliot tonight is going to focus on how to make us more confident on the stage and how to help us deal with those hecklers and other things that happen when you're speaking. So if you can stamp your feet, put your hands together for Elliot Kay.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
This side's much louder than this side, just saying. You guys are clearly the confident side. Good evening.
Good evening.
There we go. So today is about confidence, but it's actually how do you manage things when things go wrong? That's really what the focus of this presentation is about. So I am going to talk about the 3 levels of confidence. Who here in the past has had any issues with confidence? Raise your hands, nice and high. Great. Who's never had any problems with confidence? Good. And who's not going to put the hand up whatever I ask? Thank you. Good, thank you very much. Here's the thing with confidence. I'll tell you a little bit about me. Believe it or not, I used to have real problems with confidence. And it's true what you said, the next level, the devil, you get different challenges thrown your way and it can knock your confidence. However, if we have a mechanism that allows us to deal with it, then we have something to fall back on and keep going. So today's the 7 steps that I've come up with through my 6,000 hours of presenting and speaking and facilitating and training. And plus, I've trained God knows how much more than that. So I still train as a speaker. I attend trainings because who here believes that we reach this level that we don't need to train anymore? None of you? Good. Because a lot of speakers do fall into the trap. They're like, I'm getting paid now. I don't need to train. I'm brilliant. I'm excellent. And then actually what happens is they plateau. Does anyone know that? They kind of get to this level and they just stay at that level instead of pushing themselves and increasing. So I am the co-founder. Something just popped up there. I hope it wasn't too serious or too naughty. It was Anik, right? There we go. Of Speaker Express. I also run a strategy business. I've spoken internationally as well. And I also work with the government as a consultant to high-growing businesses. So they bring me in to make sure their marketing and their pipeline is solid before they scale. So I do that as well. My book, which is here, Power to Succeed, last year became a bestseller. Woo! Yeah, so if you want a copy, you can grab a copy after my presentation. It's on the house. So, and only while they last. There's not enough for everybody. You need to get there quick, all right? Because they're in demand. And there's a really cool picture of me. Right? So grab yourself a copy later on. I've also won awards. I don't coach anymore, but I used to be a coach. I came 3rd in Britain's Next Top Coach. Last year I was nominated for the Best Influencer. And I actually won the Regional Entrepreneur Empowerment Business Award, which is a mouthful to say, for International Strategist last year as well. So that was a good year. What's our mission? As well as Speaker Express, we want to hit 1 million business owners. We want to make sure 1 million business owners are more strategic, have more of a lifestyle, and having a life full of magic moments. Who here loves to have a life full of magic moments? Yes. By the way, this is putting your hand up. This is doing me a favor. So if you're going to put your hand up, put your hand up. So who here would like a lifestyle full of magic moments? There we go. Thank you very much. Good. I've spoken internationally. I've shared the stage with some great speakers. I've done big rooms, small rooms. I've toured the UK. We launched last year in LA, which was a lot of fun and a lot of challenge. Anyone done international launches? Great. So you'll know, yes, you look so scared when you put your hand up. Then you'll know the hardship of internationally launching especially LA. Anyone been to LA? Anyone realize how flaky they are in LA? Yeah, anyone offended by that? Good. I'm glad you're offended by it. She's one of the judges, so she's like, you offended by that? Oh, okay, good, just checking. If you are, it's flaky. There's nothing you can do about it. But it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. I used to run a coaching business. I used to be known as the coach with the hat. That used to be my brand. I used to run a seminar called Power to Succeed, and we used to put between 150 to 200 people in the room every 2 months, and that went on for 3 years until I decided to pivot, change direction, and focus on strategy. So that's a little bit about me. In terms of companies I've worked with, you might recognize them, you might not. I've helped build these companies up from the ground up. And here's what's important to me more than anything. I have shared the stage with some great people. I've been on many stages. However, if I can't be at home to have a story time with my little girl, or I'm not home enough to put her to bed, then something has to change, because I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to have my business, my entrepreneurial life take over and leave me with no time and no family time. That's the mission we're on. Also at Speaker Express, we want to empower entrepreneurs and business owners through speaking to be able to do the same. Right? It's really important to us. So yes, it's great. I'm very blessed. When Ariella was born, I was able to have a schedule around her, and I was there to support my wife. I've been there to see her first steps, hear her first words, and it's been brilliant. And that's what we want to spread. We want more people to have that kind of life, that they choose how to spend their time. How many of you like that? Raise your hands. Great. What did I say about hands up? Kelly? What did I say about? Thank you very much. Now you wish you didn't know her name. So let's talk about confidence, right? Today's about confidence, and I don't know about you, but who here has been really badly hurt by someone in the past? Great. So let me dial back. Let me dial back to 2010. I had one of my most successful years. I had lots of cash. It was great. I was in love with a beautiful girl, not the one I'm married to now. And I foolishly flew after her to the exotic country of Australia because it was the beginning of our lives, right? It was our life together. Everything's going to work out. It's going to be brilliant, isn't it? We're starting a whole life together. Why are you laughing? So I got there. And you know how when you literally get off a plane, something in your gut kicks in and says something's really wrong here. Does anyone know that feeling? It doesn't have to be getting off the plane, but you know the feeling I'm talking about. So I'm like, no, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Anyone know that? No, it'll be fine. She just hasn't seen me. It'll be fine. It will go away a couple of days. I get there for a couple of days. It's a bit weird. And then things start to fall apart. Not just with her, generally in my life, right? So first of all my clients at the time, my coaching clients, they finished and didn't renew. I had one client left, so I've gone from like loads of clients to one. Cool. I'm naive enough to think that's normal. Then I invested in a property. Anyone from Wales? Great. I invested in property in Wales, in Cardiff. And then I invested way back in 2005. What happened in 2008? So by this point, well, now we're already past New Year, the banks called me up and said, Mr. K, we don't believe you can make the mortgage. We don't believe it. You have to, we're calling in the mortgage. I was like, good luck. I'm in Australia. See you later. Bye. Hung up on them. Then I had an argument with someone else I was subcontracting for. And then came the conversation, the chat. Babe, we need to talk. Anyone know that line? Who knows it really well? Who really hates it when your partner's like, babe, we need to talk, right? But here's the thing. It wasn't your typical, it's not working out, it's not quite happening for me. It was, babe, you know that billionaire that's offered me a job? It's like, yeah. Well, he's kind of told me that I have to choose him or you. And I chose him. So it wasn't your typical, babe, we need to talk. And can you imagine what that does for someone's confidence? And that really crushed my confidence for quite a while, my self-esteem. I came back to the UK. I still was out there for 2 more weeks. I had to wake up next to her for 2 more weeks. It really, really tore me apart. And I was going through losing my property, losing my clients, and that hurt the most. Can anyone relate to that? Yeah? Not great. So I came back and I started to rebuild and work on my confidence, and I really came up with a whole formula. And I really built my confidence to a place where I'm incredibly comfortable with everything in my life. It's all my book. I talk very openly about what's happened to me. And if you, honestly, you just grab a copy and you'll know. But I talk there about my dad being an alcoholic, about my relationship, about being raped. I talk a lot about everything because you know what? I'm okay with that. I don't justify it, but I got to that level of confidence and self-esteem and self-worth that I don't measure myself by other people's expectations of who I could or should be. Does anyone relate to that? Yeah. So now the steps I'm going to share with you are more practical for speaking. I just want you to understand where they evolved from. And also these are actually 7 steps of leadership. They're not just about speaking. And I'm going to share them with you. So we're currently writing a book, Anik and I, about public speaking. And this is from the book, and that's going to come out at the end of the year. But when we work on confidence, we believe there's 3 levels of confidence. And the first one is, I can do this, right? And most people operate on I can do this. Especially if you're in the personal development world, I can do this. Yeah! Anyone know what I'm talking about? Yeah? You just need to make a decision and you can do it. And you can. No one is here to tell you what you can and can't do. But then there's a secondary level of confidence. And that's when you really step into the leadership. There's confidence to manage, where you take a situation, you can step in and you can take over, right? And you can lead, not bully, not use fear. You truly lead. You inspire inspiration. You inspire, I don't know how to go with that, inspiration, right? You take control, but not in a controlling, fearful way. Because we can all lead by fear, but fear leads to separation at the end of it. It doesn't actually inspire. Anyone relate to that? Anyone been led by fear in the past? And how much did you want to work or do stuff for that person after time? Or how much do you want to kick their heads in? It's on camera, by the way. You got that? Good. I'm only kidding. I'm not an advocate of violence. And then the next level is, I've got this. And that's when you reach that level of detachment. So from a speaking context, everything's falling apart. Literally today when we got here was everything that this whole presentation's about. Technology wasn't working. The trains were delayed. Anyone coming from Clapham would know that. So much was going wrong every step of the way, right? The receipt wasn't printing. Everything could go wrong. And then it's the ability to step into what we call the calmly confidence. I got this. It's detached. You're calm. And whenever something comes at you, you're able to just hold your composure and remain calmly confident. It's not the big yelly, hey, you, shout, pa, 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 that a lot of us seem to switch to when we think we're being confident. It's that stepping back and just going, I got this. It's okay, right? Whatever's going on behind me, the screens are falling down, you know, I've got this. I can keep going. As a speaker, I can keep going because I've got this. Because I know whatever happens, it'll be okay. Does anyone relate to that? But what tends to happen when things go wrong for most people, right? And this is the difference between confident speakers and people that are willing to work towards mastery. How many confident speakers do you know? Let's have some shout out. 1, 2, 3. 3 of you, that's it? How many people out there are confident speakers? Lots? Great. But there's lots of confident speakers. How do you stand apart from other confident speakers? And it's actually how you manage the stage, how you stand out, and of course, how you deal with tricky situations, which gets you to stand out in a good way, I hope. Yeah? Anyone seen a speaker who might have been heckled or challenged and they've dealt with it in a terrible way? Anyone seen that before? How does that leave you as an audience member? Awkward, uncomfortable. Will they pick on me? How many people then want to ask a question or challenge them if they're really nasty? You do, because you're a mismatcher. You are. Okay, there's always one. That's good, though. Never change. Huh? Right, so you're used to that. Yeah, and that's okay. But most people back away, or they're like, ooh, and they actually lose respect for the speaker. Right? So what I want to give you now is the 7 steps of how you deal with that. And also, I believe, 7 steps of leadership. Do you want them? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, good. The first one is a challenging one, but once you get there, it's good. It's mastering your thoughts, right? Because when things start to go wrong, it's our head that kicks off. Oh my God, it's going wrong. It's not quite working. The Mac's frozen. The little spinny thing's happening. Anik just popped up on the thing. Oh my God. And right? And then our breath starts to change. We start to sweat and we perspire. Does anyone, I mean, hopefully you don't do that, but you know what I mean when I talk about the breath. Does anyone relate to that? Right? So only 2 of you? Only 2 of you? Or only 2 of you being honest? Thank you. Master your thoughts. Really do that work on the cognitive level of letting go of the thought very quickly. Because the more you listen to the thought, the more it dominates you. Would you agree? Yeah? So that's, and then the other thing is very quickly to switch to solution mode versus it's all going wrong. It's like, okay, what's the solution here? How can I solve this? Very quickly in your mind. And the quicker you make that switch, actually the faster you resolve the situation. Would you agree?
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes.
Thank you. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is accept it. Acceptance. A lot of people fight and they get angry, they get frustrated. Oh my God, I should have bought a new Mac, and that AV guy, and that was the audience, it's the wrong audience, and it's your fault because you wear glasses, And the second step, once you master your thought and you switch to solution, just accept what's going on. Because then you can truly own the situation. We'll get there. Is this making sense?
Yeah,
Can you see how these are also leadership steps as well? Yeah, steps towards being a leader, being an influencer in your space. Step number 3. I should have really slid them better, huh? So I don't have to click twice, they just slide through. But there we go, we live and learn. Don't personalize it. How many times do you personalize things that aren't personal? Please be honest. Oh my God, everything's got it in for me today, right? You know, someone sabotaged the train lines so I would be late. Yeah? Wendy, would you agree?
They did it for you. Don't worry, I set it off.
You did it. Right? Oh no. And you know, you quickly why does this always happen to me? Why me? And you go into that victim mode and If you accept it and you depersonalize it and just see it for what it is, it's a lot easier to move forwards. Someone asking a tough question, someone heckling, something going wrong, it's just what it is. And do you know what? I love it when people question me. I really do. Because it allows me to either show my expertise or calmly deal or learn something I don't know. Even if I don't know the answer, I'm happy to say, do you know what? I don't know the answer for that. Yesterday I was teaching pitching to a Czech company, so 5 Czech companies in King's Cross, and one guy was talking about makers. Do you know the term makers? Has anyone heard that term? People that make things, they're known as makers. You have, right? I never heard it. And I'm going, do you mean innovators? No, makers. Do you mean inventors? No, makers. It's like, oh. I was like, okay, I didn't know that. So I'm clearly right now not qualified to give you feedback because I would give you incorrect feedback. So I just step back, right? So people questioning things and asking you questions is a great thing. Welcome it. Don't personalize it. And generally, don't personalize the situation. Not everything is a personal attack on you, right? So far, so good?
Yes.
You learning something?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Just this side again. How about this side? You learning something?
Yes.
It's a bit like, hey, what about this side? Can I hear you? Hey, what about this? I don't really want to turn it into that, right? Here's the thing. If you need to stop, get into that confidence and breathe. Breathing is really important in stressful situations, right? It really is. And the moment you step into that confident you and you take a breath, you accept, you turn to solution mode, you depersonalize it, everything slows down. Have you noticed that? That when you just, everyone take a breath in like, do remember to breathe out. Very important. And things just slow down. You feel this nice lightness in your chest, in your head, right? That's the other thing. So if things are going wrong, step into that confident, go, just take a breath. Right, how do we move forwards? They're having a child. Do I need to separate us back to school? Do I need to separate you two?
It'll become clear later.
That's the worrying part when someone goes, you'll find out later. 1,000 clicks online, a video. Oh, didn't mean to post that. Yeah. Thanks, Cheryl. It's nice to know my members have got my back, right? And the other thing, of course, is take a step back, see the full picture. What is truly going on versus what you're filtering for. Yeah, what is truly going versus what you're filtering for. And step number 6 is, if you need to buy time, there's different techniques to do that. You know, turning to the person next to you, sharing, getting people to stand up, walk around the room, call a 5-minute, 10-minute break. On a bigger scale, when we talk about leadership, then there's various ways to buy time. But if you need to buy time, don't pretend, don't faff through it, yeah? Because by not following these steps, it will seriously affect your confidence. when you follow these steps. Cool. Okay, guys, look, I just need to sort something out. Everybody turn to each other. I'd like you to all to turn to the person next to you and tell them what you've been learning so far for the last 5 minutes. Recap all steps. Do a test on each other. Stand up, find someone you haven't worked with yet, and share what your greatest learning is so far. Stand up, music, please, massages. Buys you time. It depends what you're doing, obviously, the type of talk. If you're kind of in a room full of accountants, I don't know if that will go down, or maybe it will. Right? Who am I to decide? If you've got 100 accountants in the room and you're talking about the latest, I don't know, HMRC bylaws, everyone stand up, give each other a massage. They might really welcome it. Who knows? Who knows? But use techniques. There's so many techniques to buy time in a way that's graceful and respectful that doesn't show you're faffing, doesn't show you're panicking. That's the other one. And step 6, oh, something else popped up. Anything important? Susan, see, being tagged in a photo. There's no secrets here, right? No secrets here.
That's what I thought as well.
What's this?
Oh, I'm on 7. She's on 7. You're on 6.
No, you had 2 step 5s.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Ah.
Here's a perfect word.
You see, I wanted to see if anyone would notice that. Well done, you get a free copy of my book just for noticing that. See, this happened. Oh, so is there a 7 as well then? Or am I going to stop at 6? Yeah,
Roll with it.
there we go. Roll with it, right? I just wanted to demonstrate exactly what I was talking about there. Step number 6.5, right, is make a decision, stand by it. The last thing you can, if you demonstrate uncertainty, if you come across or you're questioning yourself, your audience will pick up on that. Make a decision. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. Stick to it. Whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. Yeah. Otherwise, how many times can you pick up uncertainty from speakers? Like you can just energetically sense they're not sure. Yeah. And then again, you start to back away. You start to question. And a lot of speakers, especially speakers who sell from stage, when things go wrong, it throws them completely. And then, of course, it affects their sales. Sell from stage. Sell. Yeah. What do you think I said? Just have interest. You couldn't make it. Sell, as in sales. Yeah. So just stand by it. Whatever happens, make the decision, stand by it. And now step 7, own it. Take ownership of the situation, of what you've done, how you've done it, how you stood up. Do it with certainty. So this is either step 8, whatever you want to call it, or step 7, because the other one was a double 5.5. But roll with it, right? Roll with it. You know, if we're talking about that level 3 of confidence, the ability to roll with it, allow, you know, coming up on the train, anyone coming through Clapham today would have been terribly stressed, right? I had a speaking gig. I just sat there and I was like, you know what will be, right? I was even warning Sue. I was like, Susan, you might need to take over the speaking slot. Yeah? If I can't make it over to her, what's the point? Really, what's the point stressing, fretting? What's the point in denting my confidence, my reputation? Oh my God. Yes, of course I want a good reputation. Of course I want to do a great presentation. But there's nothing I could have done except, I don't know, run across the tracks. And I don't think that would have done anyone any good, right? And of course, you know what Susan's response was? I was like, are you ready to take over my speaking slot if needed? Her response was, born ready. Yeah, now that is good confidence. That's certainty, right? So those are the 7 steps I really wanted to share with you. Because for me, those are the steps that really help me deal with things when things go wrong. So this isn't like here's, you know, anchoring and here's how to be more confident and things. This is really how you deal with stuff when stuff goes wrong. When you have 2 steps of the same. And when things keep flashing up behind you, of people tagging you pictures and, you know, Anik sending you messages. It's okay, right? Is everyone all right? Is everyone okay? Is everyone terribly offended by that? Has it destroyed the whole presentation, your whole experience? No? But it's amazing what sets people off. So to hit that level 3, for me, that's about doing these 7.5, 8 steps. It's truly being able to just, I got this. Now, of course, you need to do some work on it. It's not an overnight thing, right? However, when you get here, when you get to that place, it's great because you know, not arrogance, but you know whatever happens, you can handle it. So that doesn't mean I don't practice. It doesn't mean I don't work on my own craft. It doesn't mean I don't do things to be better. I don't go, do you know what, I've got there, I'm amazing, that's it. No, I keep working and working and working and working, but I know that when things go wrong and right, I can handle it. And that in itself makes it worthwhile. Would you agree? Yeah? So turn to the person next to you, and I want you to discuss what your favorite step was. Go. If there's 3 of you, speaking to 3. So which one of the steps was your favorite? 5.5, 6,
10.
6, 10. What was your favorite one? Which one? 7 3/4. Which one was that one? Roll with it. You like that one. What else? Yes, Janet.
Like the first one, when you said, well, your brain activity, yes, but also I think comes into that, don't try to find blame for it. Don't find out why it went wrong, just look for the solution. So you take your focus up a notch. It doesn't matter what happened, let's get going and get the solution right.
Good. What else?
I think accept the situation. 2 of us said that's our biggest hurdle. And I said that I agree with it to a certain extent, but not to a full extent.
Okay.
So what would I have done? I'd have rung your colleague. I'd have said, look, start the presentation off. I'm going to get a taxi. I can see my Uber says 10 minutes to get there. I'm not going to let you down. So I would personalise it, and I'd do my damnedest to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. That wasn't for lack of, I was just having a plan B.
Yeah, but I wouldn't accept it and accept that I'm going to fail.
Ah,
If I get
so
there,
you'd
it's
fight.
fit, but assume I'm not going to be there.
Okay.
I don't know if I could.
So here's the other question about that. No, I know what you're saying completely.
More stressful.
So yeah. So here's the other question. So let's say I didn't quite make it. I did my best. Right? And Susan started. Do I then walk in and go, I'm here now, you sit down, I'll take over?
I've never done it, but
No, if we give her, it's over to her, it's over to her. And I was already thinking about it. I was like, you know what? She starts it, she finishes it. So again, I get it. Look, there's when things are truly beyond your control, sometimes you have to just put your hands up and accept that and let go. You know, I agree. As a speaker, as whatever, whenever you're on stage, you make all the effort to get here, 100%. I was willing, because we were sat, I mean, anyone was there, you were sat for ages outside of Clapham. Like, we weren't moving for ages. And you just have to accept, there's not a lot. I was looking at Clapham Jungle, can I get an Uber? I was looking at options, but just being ready, and I was willing to accept that, you know what?
The situations that are really challenging
Exactly.
is what comes up in the room.
Yeah.
Or the context of the conference or whatever it is. That's when it's,
And there's lots of plan Bs in that one.
Exactly. There's, you know, when I used to do Power to Succeed, I did one event where I did an intervention on this girl, and she came beautifully through. And this one woman, she stood up, she goes, "You're manipulating her. All you're doing is attempting," and she's really sensitive. She's just coming out of it. And I was like, and the whole room was ready to turn on this woman, not me. So I was quite blessed. And I had to really manage that. And I was like, quickly, what's the solution here? Accept the situation. Don't personalize. Like, okay, let me understand why you think that. So very quickly, I honed in on her and go, why do you think I'm doing that? And even guys were like, how could you say that? He's just given up. Da-da. You haven't paid to be here, because it was 2 days free, I used to do, right? And then I actually managed to completely gracefully get her to really retract and actually save her from the room, because the room was like, you could see they were shoulders out, like, what the fuck are you doing? They were ready for a fight with his, and I was like, no, we have to respect each other's model of the world. So yeah, various plan Bs, Cs, Ds, 5.5s, 6s. So yes, but I think sometimes you just have to accept the situation for what it is. It's very stressful. I've been there. You clear? Are you from a performing background?
When you say performing, like being a theatre, someone.
Kind of that space, because that's normally a performer's discipline.
Maybe you could say I was.
A banker. So you are a performer. A performer in a different way, right? Great. A couple more. This side's very vocal. Yes.
For me, make a decision and stand by it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Second guessing.
it seems to me the very fact that you are going to stand by it is showing the confidence you've got in yourself. That's a big step.
Yes. And yes, I know there were typos and spelling mistakes. here's what happens. I am dyslexic, as you will read. And normally my wife looks over the slides, but she's been climbing the 3 peaks, so I didn't have anyone check them. So if you spotted a spelling mistake, get over it. Right? Okay. One more, but great share. Thank you. Yes?
Can you give me an example of when you would buy some time and in what particular talk?
I just did it. You didn't notice it.
No, but if you're structured, if you've got a structured time slot,
Yeah.
would you still, or you know your speech that well, would you still buy time in that moment? And would that
If something's going, like for example, sometimes, especially when you do the bigger rooms, you might get the MC or someone from the side going, they just give you a signal going, cut. And you need to suddenly figure out what's going on. And then you go, okay, right, everyone got my points? Okay, turn to person, literally what I did. Talk to each other for 3 minutes. What's your greatest learning? You go find out what's going wrong. Then you come back, okay, so this is what's happening, people. I've literally had to do that, like someone's been taken ill and people are panicking and you just have to control the room. Go, all right, listen, let's do this. Let's take a 10-minute break. Let's address the situation. Everybody out. I've had to do that. So it really is thinking on your feet, but it can be a very variable of situation. It could be literally like, imagine if I literally took, like, of course I want you guys to have well-spelt PowerPoints, but imagine if, and it used to really upset me when I used to get up and I would think that I've done great presentations and I would notice the spelling and someone would go, you misspelled that, because you've only got one person that spots it, right? But they love pointing it out. They love pointing, not sure. And it used to really throw me. But that's what I mean. I get to that level now that I've got it, I accept it, I own it. And if all you're taking is I can't spell from the presentation, then we're clearly not a right fix. So those are some situations. Often when things go wrong, you need to buy time. That's when you would do that. And there's so many of them. I mean, you do comedy, right? 2 seconds. Yeah, you do comedy? Yes. So imagine you're about to go on, or you're on, and then you've got the MC going, we need to cut your slot.
I guess because I know I have a particular amount of time, I'm writing my time.
Yeah, and that's often the case. It's just how you work within that.
I'm interested to take it to a new dynamic if that was to come up, how it might. Because I like the idea of being able to still just pause the room, still keep them engaged, as opposed to
Yeah.
hang on and let them know that I'm in a situation to keep them held in that position. So
I know a lot of times, what's his face? The guy that laughs like a horse. No. I didn't know your dad. What's his name? Jim? No, not the other one.
Jim Carrey?
Jimmy. I know when he's a bit lost, or he invites the heckles to buy time. He's like, okay. He doesn't tell you. He's like, I'm completely off script here. I don't know where I'm going. All right, let's do the heckling thing. And that's how he buys time. So there's various ways. There's no set way. Wendy, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I think it's about being authentic because you said, you know, all right, I got some of the slides, the spelling wasn't right.
And a couple of steps repeated.
Yeah, and I think there's some, because people connect with you then, you know, there's something about that emotional connection when you actually own the fact, right, I screwed up there, or I didn't quite get that right.
However, if the content, for example, I don't know if you think it's good, but if the content was rubbish, you'd completely resent that even more.
Exactly.
Right, but I still had to own that. Whatever happens, I have to own that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right.
I'm not saying the whole thing's rubbish.
No, I didn't. No, I'm adding that in. Absolutely. No, well said. Yes, last one.
Experience, is it always the right situation to address a heckler as opposed to just ignore them?
Great question. Here's the thing about. Do you want to go for it? Go on, Kelly.
So whenever I've engaged with a heckler in the past and got into the conversation with them, it's gone pants. So I try to say, I can answer your questions later and try and sort of put them to one side, because you can sometimes get irritated as the speaker, and once they feel your irritation, they go in.
So don't personalize heckling. That's number one. Well, whatever that's there, 5.5.
Don't engage too much.
But here's the thing. There's two schoolings to that, just to address that. One, that the school to ignore, in my experience, doesn't work, because then they just come back at you louder. They will not give up. A good heckler will not go away. And again, you'll know this from comedy, right? I do engage, and I want to find out what's behind the heckle. If I find it's going on for too long, right, and I certainly don't rise to it. I don't let them have an emotional response. There's ways to do it where you can still win, like you can win the audience over and alienate them in a respectful, graceful way. And there's certain techniques to do that. I would always look to address a heckler, because also if you just ignore it and they keep going, then suddenly the audience will kind of start to side with him because why is the speaker not addressing him? Can't he see he's annoying or she's annoying? What? Don't they know the answer? And they start to create that uncertainty. So I would be like, okay, let me find out, why do you think that? And I would challenge them in a respectful way. Then if I see that it's not going, I say, look, I need to get on with the presentation, so why don't you and I connect off stage and I'll answer any question you want. And then they go, if they carry on and say, look, and if they do carry on, they get aggressive, I said, you need to make a decision. I need to crack on with this presentation. Either you sit down and listen or there's the door. With all the love in the world, please leave. At that moment, the crowd go, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Most times they sit down. Because you're not afraid for the, like, I don't need you on the seat if you're having a crap night. Get out, please, with love. Yes, Lena.
I just thought I'd share an experience. I just came from doing a training today with a company here in London. And where else would it be?
She lives in Vegas, which is why she's confused.
It's like a big deal to be here in London doing a company. And I was told ahead of time that there were going to be some people in the room who actually weren't really excited about doing the training. And they were kind of like, well, why on earth do we need to have a training? We've had trainings in the past that haven't worked, that haven't been effective. And so in their mind, they were kind of just like, impress me, sort of thing. So I knew that was going to happen. And so I just prepared ahead of time and basically set up the day so that so I set up my expectations of the behaviors that I expected from everyone in the group. And then basically kind of, set the scene, made sure that I got buy-in from everybody. Just asking them on the way, is everyone in with this? Everyone raised their hand, so they were in agreement. Nobody who said they weren't. And then actually just kind of said, look, we're kind of on the bridge now. Don't jump off the bridge. If you're in the room, you're in the room. If you're in, you're in. But don't kind of be standing on the bridge waiting to get run over or jump off the bridge. I mean, that's just crazy. But just to kind of say, like, if you're here, be here. Otherwise, don't listen.
There's the door.
Let's support the energy of the room. And it's just, when you set that up at the beginning and that's the expectation, I mean, all the people that were kind of, actually people coming up to me at the end saying, I really wasn't looking forward to that, but it was amazing.
Yeah, I love skeptics.
But setting up at the beginning.
Yeah. The other thing, if you want to learn how to deal with hecklers, go speak in schools. I'm serious.
You did,
Yeah, if you want to really learn a tough audience and to win them over, go speak in schools. I did that last week. I went in with this whole plan. The moment I walked in, it was like, nope, out the window. And I just threw everything I had planned and everything already gone. And I was like, look, I'm not here how to tell you to live your life. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not about positivity. Let me tell you how I learnt my lessons. And then they're like, oh, okay. But what was really funny is I was dropping names and they were like, who? And I was like, Natasha Bedingfield. They're like, who are you talking about? Because I do a lot of work with Global Angels, who's run by Natasha and Daniel Bedingfield. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? Okay. It's run by their mum. And I was talking about giving back and stuff like that. And I was like, and I went, Natasha Bedingfield. They're like dead. You could hear the. So yeah, you want to learn to deal with hecklers? One guy was like, it turned into a workshop, and one guy was like, what's important to you? He said, Jehovah. And I know he's joking. So then the whole time I dressed him as the man that loves Jehovah. And you could tell he was going red and like, oh, I wish I hadn't said anything. But I did it with respect. And he kind of came up to me with a nice one at the end. It's like, I even gave him the wink and the finger. So there we go. Did you learn something?
Yes.
Take something home?
Yes.
8.5 steps?
Yes. Yes.
Good. Awesome. So am I handing it to you or am I handing it to Cheryl?
Well, I will introduce Cheryl.
You will introduce Cheryl. So I'm going to hand it back to Susan. Thank you.
One more round of applause for Elliot Kay. Elliot, always get back up there.
I took the applause.
One of our principals, you have to stay on stage and take the applause one more time.
There we go.
You can go now.